Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and my guest today is the director of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and his latest film, Pinocchio Unstrung, releases in theaters July 24th. I am so excited to be joined by Rhys Frake-Waterfield. Rhys, how are you doing today?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me on. We're yeah, pretty excited. I think we've been meaning to speak now for quite a few years, haven't we?
I cannot
It's
believe this.
just
This is
never lined up.
crazy. We have done so many Q&As together, like at City Walk and at the Burbank 16 for Blood and Honey 2. We did them for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. But this is the first time we're talking one-on-one like this. So I'm very excited to be joined by you today.
Oh yeah, the stars are aligned.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah,
Not that
finally.
I'm a star. I didn't mean to
No.
sound big-headed.
No, this is perfect. I'm just so excited for you, and everyone that I've been talking to so far has just talked about how wonderful it has been to work with you and how much fun they had with you, from Cameron to Carolina to Vince. Everyone just loves working with you, so it's very exciting to have you here today.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Of course. How early on in the development process for Pinocchio Unstrung did you know you were going to use a practical puppet?
So yeah, that was one of the first kind of decisions you make when I was because I wrote and directed it as well. So when I was at the writing stage, I was thinking, okay, what first of all, what direction do I want to take it? Do I want to go down a kind of eerie, Annabelle-like route with it, like creepy doll kind of route, or do I go to something which is a bit more like campy and a bit more fun, closer to like I don't know, Megan and Chucky? So I was going down that route, and then immediately the next decision was like, yeah, okay, what am I going to do with this puppet? Because that can determine how much you want it to be in the film, your kind of the kind of scenes you want to orchestrate, because you need to actually figure. Sometimes when you're writing, you need to, in the back of your mind, think about the practicalities of actually shooting it. Is that you can't just write the craziest thing and then it's completely unachievable on the day. So I yeah, I decided I really wanted to go down a practical puppet route with it, mostly because I felt it complemented the story quite well. Pinocchio, the story is all about craftsmanship and it's about something, wanting to be real. So I thought it was quite important to actually have a real puppet on set as well. And also, I knew early on that I essentially wanted the puppet to kind of become the lead of the film. So this isn't a film where you only see it for about 5 minutes. Like it takes up about 80% of the screen time. And weirdly, it actually becomes more cost effective after a certain point to go down a practical route. Because in order to have a certain quality of VFX, you can imagine like every shot might cost, I don't know, £500 or £1,000 to get like a really good quality shot, like a VFX shot done. But with Pinocchio, because he's in 80% of the film, I'm at a rough guess, there must be 5,000 shots, like just at a guess on how many he's in the film. So when you've actually physically got him there and you can shoot it all in camera, you can get all of these shots done, it becomes kind of cost effective in the end. Even though he was expensive to do because he's got but like his whole head. I don't know if you've seen him skinned, but when
Oh,
they remove it all, you can see all the mechanics, the jaw. The guys at MasterFX were responsible for creating the doll, and yeah, they did an amazing job. And you can kind of see from some of the footage which has gone round how well he can kind of articulate. And we've had a lot of people say, "Oh no, it looks like it's VFX," just because the movements are so fluid with the face. But yeah, really happy with how he's turned out.
he is incredible. I had the opportunity to get to hang out with Pinocchio at a pub here in Pasadena after
Yeah.
Monsterpalooza. It was me, it was Andrew Scott Bell, the composer of the film, and it was Todd Masters, the genius behind MastersFX Studios. And to get up close with Pinocchio was so cool, and I'm so glad you guys did a practical puppet because even talking to the actors, talking with Cameron and talking with Peter, they were talking about how it's really helpful to them to have like a physical character there for them to work off of instead of, a tennis ball or pretending that
Chair.
there's someone
Yeah.
there. Yeah, a chair, an empty chair. So everyone's loved it. And I could not believe the detail on this thing, seeing it up close and like the individual carvings. Todd Masters is, an icon in the field. How did you guys get to collaborate on this project?
Yeah, there's so yeah, you're right. There's actually three versions of Pinocchio when you saw him. So I think you were hanging out with what the one we called kind of Stunty.
Hmm.
So he probably didn't have a lot of the animatronics going. It was more like because we had to have a doll where we could like throw it down the stairs and do all of this like crazy stuff with. But yeah, sorry, going back to your question with Todd. So it was because the doll itself is so incredibly important to the film doing well because he's essentially your hero and your villain in a way in this, and he's the poster, he's everything. Like he's the film's called Pinocchio. You're going to watch Pinocchio. It was really really important to make sure he was kind of like high quality and he was going to be done very well, because the film would fall apart without that. So we started looking at people who kind of are able to do this and focus on building animatronics, and Todd Masters and their team, they have a it's kind of a little niche for them. They're very very good at these kind of creepy dolls. He's done Child's Play, so they've done all of the animatronics with Chucky in that film, and I thought he looked awesome. And then they did The Boy as well, which was another really kind of famous creepy doll movie. So yeah, this is something they're very experienced with, and I could kind of tell from some of their past work, like that Child's Play one, just how good they really were. So yeah, we got those guys on board. They were really really good to work with. So early on, we were kind of going back and forth with a few different ideas, and kind of inspiration and like making decisions about how big he should be, how we handling the nose, and they really worked on the character to make sure he fit the story, because Pinocchio, there are moments where in the film where you want him to go. He's not just scary the entire time. Like there's moments where he's a bit scary and moments where he's a bit more cute. So we had to kind of find a kind of design with him where it could flip one way or the other. So that's quite fun in the film. You can see he has this moment where he gets a bit more corrupted and he goes a bit more sinister and he actually looks quite scary, which I'm hoping people pick up from the trailer as well.
Yeah, I'm
So they
telling you
they kind
guys.
of nailed that like in between.
Yeah, it is incredible in person. Like it looks great on screen, but in person, it's just like you guys with Masters Effects, you guys came up with the perfect design, and I just love it so much.
Oh, good. He's actually roaming around LA right now. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
you've
I saw.
seen. Have you seen that? Yeah,
Yeah, I saw.
Viva, the people who are releasing the film, they're kind of taking him on a tour of LA. So I saw him at the like out of the hood of a car driving around. So he was by Robert Englund's star as well. So
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I love that. That's such a creative way to promote the film.
yeah.
Where does Pinocchio Unstrung fit in with the rest of the Poohniverse timeline?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's so we're ultimately Poohniverse is where all of these films are leading towards, and all of these characters we want them all to kind of team up, and you can see when you watch the film that there's certain like Easter eggs which have been placed, and there's certain elements which are kind of interconnecting, so for example, in Pinocchio, and I think people have noticed from one of the trailers recently that Christopher Robin is very briefly featured in it. So it's happening, and he's still a kind of doctor at the time. But when you go to Blood and Honey 2, he gets fired from his doctor role. So kind of from that, you can infer it was a little bit beforehand, before those events. And there's a few kind of references in some of our other films where you'll see one of the characters talk about, I don't know, going glamping or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that, and what that's about to lead into for them. So yeah, Blood and Honey 2 is probably the furthest along timeline wise, which is going to lead into Poohniverse, and Pinocchio is one of the earlier ones. So,
Oh, very exciting. Okay, so I have been holding off on watching Pinocchio Unstrung because I wanted to wait to see it in a theater for the first time with everyone. But I do have three more interviews lined up for the film so far. So I'm watching it tonight just so I
oh,
have a
cool.
better understanding of everything when I'm doing all these questions. But before I see it, I wanted to ask, how does the blood and gore of Pinocchio Unstrung compare to that of your previous films with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2?
Yeah, I would say the gore and the quantity of deaths are less than Blood and Honey 2, but the ones in this are a bit more prolonged. So they last a bit longer. That was some of the feedback we got on Blood and Honey 2 was just there was a lot of like one-shot KOs with the head with and people getting headshotted a lot. So we tried to make them a little bit more intricate with this one, but it's definitely going to achieve one of the like it with originally we had an NC-17 rating, so we had to make some small little tweaks to try and just pull it back to R rating, and that's purely for the kind of gore involved in the film. So yeah, there's quite a lot of it.
Oh, I am
We
looking
actually
forward
had
to
in
it.
we actually had in our first festival, which was in Brussels, Biff. We actually had someone faint, but that's not like bullshit. Like
Yeah.
they actually did. There was some of the reviewers from who went to Biff. You can kind of hear them talk about it, and like one of them was a few rows away from the lady, where it happened to her. And that's all to do with a scene midway through the film, involving a hospital. So which it gets a bit gory there.
All right. Well, I will message you after and let you know if I faint during my viewing of it tonight. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on your bedroom floor.
Yeah. I'll be messaging you from the floor. Hey, I fainted. So we talked about working with the iconic Todd Masters, but there's another icon that you guys brought into this film, and that's Robert Englund. People know him as Freddy Krueger. I have my Freddy Krueger right here, right below my Pinocchio. And
Oh yeah.
I think it's so cool that you guys got him to come and voice Cricket. How did that come about?
Yeah, so there was an effort in this one to bring in some of the old like I don't know if they want me to call them old, but the
Iconic,
old horror
iconic.
greats, yeah, yeah, the iconic greats. So we've been a fan of like a few of these guys. So like there's one of the other guys in this is Richard Brake,
Yeah.
and we've loved him in like all of his Rob Zombie films, and he's like the nicest guy ever. So we're really glad we kind of worked with him. Then there was Todd as well. Like he's been around for ages, and have been involved in some like amazing like horror franchises and films. And then obviously the lastly being Robert Englund, and yeah, me and Scott are massive fans of old school horror. So we were trying to we wanted to bring them in as much as we can. Scott recently announced as well in Blood and Honey 3
Oh
that
my
he's
gosh.
bringing yeah, the Scream voice actor. I forgot
Roger
his name.
Jackson.
Roger Jackson. That's it. Yeah, I forgot his surname, but yeah, Roger Jackson's coming in to voice one of the characters. So we're trying to do this where possible. For us, because we're still working on kind of a lowish budget.
Yeah.
We're finding ways where we're able to do this in a cost effective way. And voicing characters can be a really really good way for this because all it really requires is a limited number of hours in the ADR studio to voice the character. You don't need to be on a set for a significant amount of time. And I had the idea of bringing Robert in because I knew what direction I wanted to take cricket, and the Wood Mother character for a long time because I wanted to make some big twists on the original Pinocchio story. I didn't want to just copy what the original book is. I thought about the cricket and the Wood Mother or the Godmother being a an opposite force in this. So instead of being a voice of good, they're a voice of evil in this, and they're kind of corrupting him, and they're a little like devil on the shoulder. And then after that, it was like who's best to voice a character like that, and
Wow.
then Robert comes to mind. He's
That's awesome.
the personification of a devil in Freddy Krueger, isn't he? So
He has such an iconic, I know I've used that word so many times, but his voice is just so cool. And I'm so happy you guys were able to get him to come in as Cricket. That is incredible.
yeah, yeah, he did amazing. It was I remember going through the footage for that because I was editing it as well after. And for each line I got him to do about three or four different variations and alternative takes and alternative lines to fit in. So I had so much stuff to choose from. I think I went a bit overboard because each I must have got him to do about 150 different lines for cricket, and cricket maybe only says about 30 things. So every line had about five different alternatives. But it was really, really good because then I just had so much stuff to play with
Yeah.
after. Yeah,
That's
so there's
so
lots
cool.
of if you listen to a lot of his lines,
Mhm.
there's lots of references to the like there's fun like winks towards the Freddy Krueger character, but there's also a lot of Woody theme vibes, like talking about people being like rot and stuff like this, and that's because they're all kind of wooden creations.
Oh, how fun. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a cricket right here, right next to my Pinocchio and
Oh
Chucky.
yeah,
He's really tiny.
yeah, that's fun. Yeah,
Well, you
yeah,
mentioned,
that's cool.
yeah, I love these Funkos. They're from the Guillermo del Toro stop motion
Yeah, I
Netflix one
thought
that came
so.
out.
That's one I love that version of Pinocchio,
Oh, me too.
particularly because it was so reliant on practical effects. Because at
Yeah,
the time there was like three different Pinocchio films coming out. I
yeah.
think that was 2022. You had Del Toro's one, and then there was a Disney one, and there was another one. And his was the only one I remember which really relied on practical effects from it.
Mhm.
And that's the kind of direction I wanted to take with ours as well.
No, that's great because you're right. I watched the Disney one and it was all CGI, and I was like, man. And then I watched Guillermo's, and I was like, wow, you could tell the amount of time and effort and care, and like the fact that everything was practical and stop motion and was real. Like you could touch it, you could reach out and touch it. I think
Yeah.
that's incredible. But you mentioned Richard Brake, and I love Richard Brake. I was telling my boyfriend David earlier today about how many incredible things he's been in his career, and how every time I talk to someone about him, they recognize him from a different movie or a different TV show. Like everyone has like their favorite thing that he's been in. Can you tell me a little bit about his performance as Geppetto?
Yeah, he's like so diverse in some of his roles. Like he goes outside of it's not just horror either. Some of his recent films you've got outside of like the Rob Zombie ones, which he's most known for, I think. Yeah, he was in like Doom before. He was in recently Mayor of Kingston, I think was one he was
Yeah.
in. That was his TV series, The Strangers. He was in that. And then one I really liked is The Last Stop in Yuma County.
Oh, that one's
And that director
incredible.
have you seen that? Yeah, it's really
Yes.
good. And that director's the one who's doing Evil Dead Wrath
Yeah.
after. So yeah, it's an excellent film, and Richard's performance in that is really, really good. And I remember I was a fan of him from all the Rob Zombie stuff anyway. But when I was watching that, is he's got such a subtle a subtle menacingness about him. And there are moments I wanted in the character of Geppetto. Some of that can come out at certain points, but I also wanted to see Richard do something completely different. So normally his bread and butter is those kind of roles. It's like the villain, the guy with the shotgun, the Rob Zombie kind of characters. But in this, he starts off playing a kind of caring older grandfather. So you'll kind of see him in a little bit of a different light at the start, which I think is a little bit refreshing. And then, yeah, something happens at the end, which I don't want to spoil. You have to see that tonight.
Yeah, I'll let you know tonight too when I'm passed out on the
Yeah.
floor. Oh my gosh. No, I'm so happy he's in this as well. And yeah, you mentioned The Last Stop in Unum County. I saw that movie when it came out, and Francis Galupi, the director, doing Evil Dead Wrath
Mm.
next year. I am counting down the days. I just saw Evil Dead Burn this week. Can't wait for the next one. But yeah,
Did you
so
like Burn?
oh my God, I loved it. I thought Hunt. Have you seen it yet?
Seen it twice.
Oh
I'm
my,
going. I'm gonna.
lucky. I want to see it again. Hunter's performance, Hunter Doohan, who plays the lead male actor in the movie. He's so good in that movie, and the score was incredible. There were a couple
Yeah.
times where I had to look away though because it was like really intense. Like I can handle blood and gore and stuff like that, but there were just a couple scenes where I was like, oh,
Yeah, we watched it again yesterday, and there was someone next to us in the cinema who was just constantly like this, and then like shaking. It's quite a fun film to be in like a cinema environment to watch.
yeah, it's a perfect film to see in a dark room with a bunch of people and hearing how other people react to it. I wanted to talk with you about Cameron Bell, who's one of the leads of the film. He is so nice. I got to speak with him a few weeks ago about his role as James. How did you guys find him to play this role?
Yeah. So finding child actors can be an absolute nightmare sometimes. They're it, but the character of James was really, really important in the film because he's obviously Pinocchio's best friend. So you see him throughout. You're following his kind of journey really, and the amount of screen time he has is yeah quite extensive throughout the film. So we needed to make sure we had someone who could kind of carry that. And Cameron was. We went for a lot of auditions. There was like hundreds and hundreds of tapes we were going for, and I remember from even his first audition, I could really see that he was thinking. And I know that sounds strange, but like when he was performing, you could kind of see in the eyes when someone's actually connecting and they're like in the scene. Other people they just say it. They just say it, or they're putting on a bit of a fake theatrical kind of performance with it, and that's not really what we were looking for. So yeah, Cameron really impressed us. And yeah, on set he couldn't have been like nicer. Like he's an amazing kid to work with. And as much as he says it's easy working with a puppet, I know it's not. The amount of times on set I would and I'm directing a scene, and Pinocchio can be a bit of a diva, so he doesn't do his lines all the time for Cameron. So there are points where Cameron's acting and the doll is just like frozen, and it's just like death staring him in the eyes,
Oh my
and he's got
God.
to perform against it. But yeah, he does really well. So I'm hoping he gets a lot of kind of praise from people when they see the film.
Oh, that is great. You also have composer Andrew Scott Bell returning for this film as well. The two of you have collaborated before on Blood and Honey 2. What was your reaction to the incredible wooden instrument he created for scoring Pinocchio Unstrung? That thing is massive.
Yeah, I never know what Andy's gonna do because he's so crazy. So like every single film, he does something really wacky like that. He'll just send me a picture and go, "Look what I've made," and it's something which almost belongs as a prop in my film because it looks so mental. But he's amazing. I've got a very similar taste to him in terms of like the films I get attracted to and what I like directing. They're very fun and campy. And he's very good at kind of like that kind of like whimsical score as well. So he has a lot of fun with it, and brings a lot of life to it. So me and him work very well together. So I was very eager to get him back for Pinocchio. So, and I
Yeah.
think he's done a really good job of it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that score. I have to tell you, whenever I see what he has created, like the Tigger tube or the Beehive Lane, or now this giant, I forgot the name of it, but the giant massive wooden one for Pinocchio Unstrung, I
Yeah.
just think it is so cool how creative he is, and they all have these like unique sounds that you wouldn't get from a normal instrument. And I don't know, he goes way above and beyond when scoring these films. And I don't know how long ago this was, maybe like a year ago, had the opportunity to go visit his studio and see all the instruments in person. And it was
Mm.
so fun. And you guys are in for a treat when you get to hear this new score and see the new sounds that he has come up with.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Well, Reese, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day and joining me to talk about all things Pinocchio Unstrung. Everyone, be sure to check it out in theaters July 24th. But Reese, in the meantime, if people want to follow you and keep up with all your other upcoming announcements and projects, where can people follow you?
Oh, I'm so bad at promoting this stuff. My Instagram is Rhys, which RHYS underscore Frake underscore Waterfield, I think.
I think it is.
Try that, and hopefully it's me you're following.
I'll put a link in the description of this video so you guys follow the right person. But
Yeah.
Reese, it was so nice seeing you, and I can't wait for you guys to come back to LA very soon. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, we'll see you in LA.
All right, bye.
Thanks. Bye.